Hey guys, Dave here from Nerdarchy, for nerds, by nerds, hanging out with some of the crew.
I'm Ted.
I'm Nate.
And we had a viewer request from Prof JK on how to do a one shot, and how to run it, how to put it together. So we've done some of these.
Yeah.
It's kind of the same for doing convention style games, or whether you're running your one shot over the internet or whether you're doing it in person. All the elements are kind of the same. First off, you basically have to determine how long your adventure is going to be, how much time you have to play.
Probably about 3 to 5 hours max, right? 5 hours max is like when it goes over the time period.
Yeah. Tip number 1: do not let Nate the Nerdarch design your one shot.
What?
Every one of your games ran over.
Yeah, well, it was my first time running in a confined, restrictive system of we kick you out at 5.
Well, if you're looking at your time block at a convention is 4 hours, plan it for 3. Be prepared to add filler. Be prepared to try to hasten things. But if the players add more story or do more role playing, you still have that cushion time.
You should probably plan. You should probably plan for like 4 or 5 encounters, and figure you're only going to use 2 or 3.
Right.
And now the reason why I say plan for 4 or 5, because I ran an adventure that I had the opposite problem. Like, the characters decided the best way to accomplish their goal was to run away from everything. So there was like virtually no time spent on combat.
We're on a time restraint. We gotta get out of here.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I ran the chase game without trying to run the chase game.
I ran the chase game and the people fought stuff.
Yeah. So right there's a huge tip for running in general, but especially for a one shot, because you're constrained with time and how often you're going to meet, which is once. You just have to figure your players are going to do whatever you expect them not to do.
Right.
So you can't really, you really can't on them to act a particular way. So another thing is you have to start off the adventure right away. There can't be dilly-dallying. There can't be getting the party together.
You have to ignore the backstory and get right to the action.
Yeah.
And you do that by developing a reason why everyone is already together.
Yes.
And students and master they were all either applying to join the Tower of Psionic people, or they were already previously Psionic people. And I had made characters. No one made a character there. They either had a character they've been playing all day and they wanted to play it again. I said, sure. Or they picked up one of the pre-gens. So pre-gens, important part of the development process for a one-shot.
Absolutely.
Unless everybody knows it and you're going to have like a session 0 for your one-shot.
Well,
or
not really. Like
texting back and forth, or Facebook group.
There's just got to be buy-in. There's got to be like, okay, it's a one-shot, so like the start of the venture is completely railroaded. You got to do it a certain way, or it's not going to work.
Right.
Because there isn't the time. You can't spend the whole session getting the party together.
No, I mean, I spent 15 minutes.
And that was probably even too much time.
There was other reasons why things took a while. Oh, yeah. Another thing is, if you for creating suspense, it was a suspense chase game. But my other game where I had a trap where no one wanted to enter the area because it looked dangerous or something was off about it. So we spent like 15 minutes walking through an area that should have took like in-game time, almost no time. Out-of-game time, almost no time to get through this area. They spent a really long time dealing with it. I was like, all right, I should have just shortened that to this one little section, and that was it. But it was the whole area, so they were all like tiptoeing around it. And
you created too much suspense.
Yeah, too much. I was like, hey, there's a thing that could be a trap. All right, well, let's worry about it for 15, 20 minutes of real game time. And you're like, crap.
I had made what was supposed to be a one-shot, about fighting a dragon, and the party did something that was unexpected, and I'm like, well, I can't just let this go. I put in a combat encounter that wound up taking longer than it should have, and the whole session wound up running well past what I had planned. So we had to stop and end right there, and had to come back a second time, wound up losing 2 players over the course of assigning a second day. So now it's coming back and.
You should have just manned up and just ran the marathon game all night long.
Well, unfortunately, I do have, a regular job that needs to, I need to be awake for.
A wise man once said, "Works for suckers." So now that's some of the things that you shouldn't do. A couple of the one shots that I ran was the one scenario was there was a hazardous situation that everyone needed to get away from. And, I just had that, said, look, you can either stay out in this thing and it's starting to hurt you, or you can flee for shelter. So, really they only have one choice, flee for shelter.
Right.
So so everyone gets together because they just happen to find the same shelter. What a coincidence, right? So then now they're all together. So now that adventure can start.
From there.
From that part, they're all together. If they want to do a little role playing with each other, there's room for that. Or if I just go right into the adventure from there. Either way, it works. There was no time wasted. Another one was, look, there's 3 factions. You can belong to one of the 3. Your choice. This is what this one's about. This is what that one's about. And here's the other one. And then they all pick. And then the thing happens and action happens right away. And then everyone is involved and they have to start doing stuff.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So, so generally some kind of hazard or action right from the beginning is really good for getting everyone together. And then from there, there's like these foregone conclusions that most people are going to just kind of go to. So it kind of keeps things moving. And then from that point on, it's just a matter of, gauging what they've done so far, how much time you have left, and how many of your encounters you want to put in there.
Right.
Whether they're role-playing encounters or combat encounters.
But, since this is even though it's a one-shot, it's still an RPG. You do want to make sure that there are, RP encounters there for the people who want to actually role-play. If you are strictly a combat game and you want to put in more of a, meat grinder-esque situation, then sure, you can just run them from combat to combat to combat. But, if you're going to do that, you should let the people know that this is a combat game, and let them be prepared for that.
Yeah, you're like in this kind of game, you're going to have 3 types of encounters. You're going to have the role-playing encounter, you're going to have the combat encounter, and you're going to have the trick, trap, hazard encounter.
Right.
Puzzle.
Well, puzzle's going to fall into a trick.
Yeah.
Oh, really? It does?
I would think so.
Yeah. Well, if not, I'm grouping them there just for you, Nate. So
right, now puzzle.
Now puzzle. So right now you put you plan out 3 to 5 of those. So if they go too fast, if 3 goes too fast, you still have other ones to put in. If or you just pick which ones you're going to take out.
Right.
Or you might have to do something on the fly. But that's how I've run my one shots in the past.
You have your bullet points. You have your things that you can add, your things that you can remove, and be aware of what that timeline is, so that everyone's like, okay, well, this is a 4-hour game. You get it into between the 3.5 to 4.5 hours.
Oh, and we haven't mentioned like the most important thing. You have to have a clearly defined objective.
Yes. Oh, but yeah.
Yeah. What do they need to be done in one shot?
Maze of Mandoon. What's your objective?
Get out.
There's only one thing you're trying to do. Trouble with Prospectors. What were you trying to do? Well, two of the leaders from the factions get kidnapped. Essentially,
You had to rescue them.
You have to go rescue them.
Mm-hmm. Master Sign, you had to gather 3 orbs together and bring them back.
And on the Dragon Hunters, kill the dragon.
Yeah.
Ooh, the other one in Master Sign was you could die from the Sonic Chaos Storm.
That was an objective?
No, that was a way to end the game.
That was a conclusion.
Yeah,
Nice.
so a conclusion to the game could be gather the 3 orbs, bring them back, or die in the Chaos Storm.
Well, yeah, along those lines, like a Cthulhu game, Cthulhu shows up at the end. Done.
Yeah. Or you stop him from coming back, yeah.
Yeah. So it's really like you need a clearly defined start point, clearly defined end point. Everything in between is kind of mutable. You can kind of change that around as you need.
And all the games we've mentioned, if you see them in our gameplay videos, they're all thematic. It's not like random mishmash. So it's another thing, is a theme that ties everything together nicely. So someone that just doesn't think they're playing the random encounter, the tabletop RPG.
Yeah, I mean, the Dragon Hunter game is online. Ted has 2 sessions of that, which instead of a 1-shot, it was a 2-shot.
Sorry.
It was a double barrel shotgun.
Yeah, it was a learning experience. Maze of Mandoon is on there, as well as Trouble with Prospectors.
Well, technically, all of your
online games. Actually, I ran a handful
D&D in
of them.
Space is also 1-shot so far.
Yeah,
so far, but I think that one's designed to be more
episodic.
But we did
episodic.
get to the end, and there was a conclusion.
Yeah,
But your Eberron stuff,
Yeah.
while there are a couple characters that keep coming back, those are designed as a 1-shot encounter, or a 1-shot game, and it just so happens that characters are mixed throughout.
yeah. Like the one game was really just the airship returning back to Sharn, though, and it just never left that airship, and so it started, and really it started with Sharn's in sight, where we're going with in sight, and like 3 hours later of gameplay, they get there, which was probably only like 20 minutes in game, with some stuff happening. Then there was race day, which basically you guys had to find a one of the racers, the mounts had been stolen, and you guys had to find out why it was stolen and get it back. The other one, escorting the bad luck lady.
Well, there was also the first one. We attend the party with the murder.
Oh yeah. I don't even remember what I called that one. But yeah, so there's a handful of 1-shot games, and maybe I'll link them in this video. I put them all on a playlist of our 1-shot games, and I can link them, and you guys can take a look and see some examples of what we've done, and they all run, like the ones that I've done have all been approximately 3 hours. Right. 3 to 4 hours worth of time. So
and I've found that while I enjoy doing the tabletop with your close friends, I have found that there has been some serious hardcore RPing when you do the online games, because people stay focused because you've got that.
There's
time
no
constraint.
distraction. Yeah.
You've got that time constraint. You're all
Pass me the cheese poofs.
Yeah.
Can I get a Mountain Dew?
Attack the darkness.
I need to order a pizza. So
Yeah, you get a lot less of that. But yeah, I think this person is just asking about 1-shots in general.
Right.
So, but a lot of the things kind of like bleed over, and it can also, it goes for con gaming as well. So
absolutely.
yeah, I think we pretty much covered everything. If we missed anything, guys, in the comments below, let us know. While you're at it, like, subscribe, and even share.
You can follow us on Twitter @Nerdarchy.
Just check us out on the Facebook.
So until next time, stay nerdy.